Hi guys, how's it going? Mark O'Hare here for We Love Betting. A busy week with the Champions League and whatnot, so haven't had time to pen an actual Football League preview. Hope that's okay, so this video should hopefully suffice. So without further ado, first off in the Championship, Barnsley take on Queen's Park Rangers, my team QPR on Tuesday night at Oakwell. Overs is my angle here. It's a little bit skinny, so I'm adding in the both teams to score angle alongside over 2.5 goals for 10 to 11 at Coral, which I think is a very fair price. Barnsley beaten at Wolves at the weekend, but put up a very good fight, equalised in the 90th minute, but unfortunately conceded a stoppage time goal themselves to lose the fixture. Paul Heckingbottom, their manager, bemoaned his team's tendency to switch off at really key and vital moments as costing them the points. But if you think about it, last week they were quite convincingly beaten 3-0 at home to Aston Villa. They've been, it's not too surprising to see them struggling a little bit, only taken 7 points so far. Both of their wins came at home. They've lost 5 of their first 8, but the squad has been such change in the past 12 months, a huge overhaul over the summer and the last sort of 6-12 months at Barnsley. For this bet, 6 of their 8 games have seen over 2.5 goals, including all 4 of their Oakwell matches. And games at home do tend to be high scoring, 2.85 on average since their promotion, 17 of their 27 seeing both teams to score. As for QPR, 3 wins in 9 now, all at Loftus Road, failed to beat Burton at the weekend 0-0. Were pretty poor for the first, well very poor actually, dominated by Millwall for 45-50 minutes until the red card really changed the game in their favour in that match. Frustrated by Burton, failed to really create enough openings against a team that packed 2 banks of 4. Ian Holloway admitted he probably picked the wrong team, the wrong tactics too, and also that the team just didn't do enough in the final third. But I'm not too concerned about us going forward. Luke Freeman, Jamie Mackey, Connor Washington, Matt Smith, there's options. There's enough nous in attacking areas to get goals. Scored in 7 of our 9 games so far this season. It's just at the back which is really concerning. A mini defensive injury crisis at the moment. Not ideal when you've only got 5 clean sheets in 42 league matches. And away from home, it's just 4 clean sheets since the start of last season. That's 27 games. And 3 of our 4 away games have seen BTTS bank, whilst 5 of the last 6 anywhere have seen overs come in. So over 2.5 goals and both teams to score around the 10 to 11 mark with Coral. At Barnsley, moving into League One, Southend take on Wimbledon. Obviously I've covered Southend quite extensively so far this season. I've put them up as a promotion tip at the start of the season. Phil Brown wanted his team to rid defensive fragility at Fleetwood at the weekend, and he must have been delighted to see his team go ahead early on, but equally pulling his hair out when they conceded an equaliser after only 4 minutes. So they've really suffered defending set pieces. Probably weren't tested too much by Fleetwood at the weekend because of their early red card in that match. Did run out convincing 4-1 winners though, so they will be buoyant. It's their first win after a 9-match losing streak too. Only 16th in the league table, but I think that league position doesn't tell the full story. They may have failed to score in 3 of their 9 games, but they've scored 13 goals. I think one of the highest scorers in the bottom half. And if you look at expected goals for, only Wigan and Rotherham have boasted better records than Southend, and I think they're only going to improve. Anthony Wordsworth's back from injury. Ryan Leonard's a lovely midfielder. They've got a few other injuries, but crucially, Niall Ranger is now back fit, firing, and free of his electronic tag. He should be up to match fitness now too. I looked across all the sort of key performance data metrics, which I sort of keep a very close eye on, and the Shrimpers keys are in like the top 6 for nearly all of them. So there are odds against price to beat Wimbledon at home this weekend. Sorry, on Tuesday night at 21-20 with Bet365, and that's my angle here. Southend to win. Wimbledon obviously Friday night lost the big emotional. I don't know if you could call it a derby game, but obviously against MK Dons 2-0. Really frustratingly for Neil Ardley, he lost striker Kwesi Appiah to a hamstring pull. Appiah has accounted for 40% of Wimbledon's league goals this season. They have only scored 5 goals, but he's a key outlet, and he's now missing. They failed to score in 13 of the last 18 league games. Lyle Taylor, the striker, he missed a penalty. He's struggling. I think he's got 1 goal in 17 games. And they're missing Jake Reeves and Tom Elliott from last season, who obviously moved on in the summer. Ardley himself was frustrated with the individual errors of his team and the fact Wimbledon just keep falling behind. They conceded the first goal in 6 of the 9 league games now this season. And teams seem to be exploiting the right-hand side of their defence, especially Barry Fuller and Paul Robinson coming under serious pressure. Obviously, Wimbledon did win away at Blackburn, and deservedly so in their last away match, but that was only their 6th away win at this level in 27 matches. So I do like Southend on Tuesday night. Odds against prices. I think everything I've got down here on my spreadsheet seems to suggest they should be odds on for that match. Finally, into League Two, and Cambridge take on Forest Green. I like Cambridge to win this match, 17-20 with Bet365. I'll talk about Forest Green really because I've wanted to for a while, but I've been kind of monitoring them very closely. Obviously, we all saw them on Friday night on Sky Sports when they lost 2-0 at home to Swindon. Pretty awful match. Now just taken 1 point from the last 6, and that came against fellow strugglers Port Vale. Away from home, just 1 point from 4, conceding 11 goals. They've got the worst defensive record in League Two. Only Chesterfield have actually faced more shots on target. They've been pretty disastrous defending set pieces, often bullied too. And crucially here, Dale Bennett is looking like he's going to be out as well. So centre-back, on-loan centre-back, Alex Lacaviti, if I said that wrong, probably. He might have to deputise at right-back on Tuesday night, so they're really short of bodies in defence, and things aren't really great going forward either. Only Port Vale have had fewer shots on target. They've got the lowest expected goals rate, 4, and Christian Doidge is really lacking support, while in midfield Liam Noble's not in the best of form, and they're lacking end product from their play out wide. And in terms of expected goals, Forest Green are the 2nd worst team in League Two so far this season. Cambridge themselves don't fare too well on expected goals, but they do perform against strugglers. They do like taking on, basically taking the mantle of flat track bullies. Before this season started under Sean Derry, they'd won 15 games, drawn 2 and lost 4 when hosting bottom half sides. They beat a very strong Coventry team at the Abbey in the last home match, making it back-to-back wins at home. They were very unfortunate to lose at Mansfield on Saturday. They went into that game level on points with Mansfield, took the lead, deservedly so too, and a really soft penalty went against them and they conceded a late goal. So much so that even Steve Evans admitted that Cambridge were very unfortunate and his team were lucky to actually get the victory. So that kind of gives you an idea of how that match panned out. Interestingly, left back George Taft was ineligible from that game. He's on loan from Mansfield. He comes back into the team for Tuesday, and they've got those 2 very powerful forwards in Jabo Ibiri and Uchi Ikepezu, who should, in theory, bully this Forest Green defence and cause them all sorts of problems from set pieces and in open play too. So yeah, Cambridge 17-20 with Bet365 to beat Forest Green completes the job. So also, as I said, it was Southend at 21-20 with Bet365 against Wimbledon, and over 2.5 goals in both teams to score at Barnsley QPR at 10-11 for Coral. Best of luck, and I'll catch you all again at the weekend. Cheers.